Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. The current date is Sunday, June 25th, yes, 2017, and the current time is approximately 7:27 p.m. So a few things. So first, this is my June 2017 updates video part 2. And I want to begin by acknowledging my newest YouTube channel subscriber, and I love this person's, the way that this person arranged his or her YouTube channel name. So it's capital T underscore 4, as in FOR, underscore tarot. I'm very excited about this new YouTube channel subscriber, especially since there are several videos that I have in the works, not to mention 2 that have already been recorded, where I have the honor and pleasure of participating in tarot tags. So to both T for Tarot, and of course I want to give my shout out to Gothica. Both of you and others can expect an increase in tarot related and tarot themed YouTube videos on my YouTube channel, so yay. On a personal note, I want to acknowledge that in a lot of places, and especially in Manhattan, in New York City, this June is Gay Pride Month, or to be more inclusive and more politically correct, LGBTQIA+ Pride. And, you know, the last time that I went to a gay pride parade was in 1989, when I was 19. I'm now 47. I really don't think about it that much, and for those of you who either subscribe or read blog posts on my personal LGBTQIA+ themed WordPress blog, This Gay Man's Life, there was a series of blog posts that I did last year in which I wrote about the different gay pride celebrations taking place in different countries and in different states, and not just in June. For a lot of people, June is considered the penultimate gay pride month simply because a lot of them do take place in June. But for the record, there are gay pride celebrations that take place in January, in February, in October. So it's not just June. And for the record, I'm actually doing as little as possible today. My side position of employment was especially demanding and busy last week actually. In fact, this past weekend. You know, this company offers overtime on a very infrequent basis. So, I mean, I literally can count on one hand how many times since, let's say, 2010, they've offered overtime. And I could still, like, you know, I don't need to take off clothes, I don't need to use another hand, a foot, both of my feet. Literally, I can count on one hand how many times this company has offered overtime since 2010. It's very infrequent. So, but in the meantime, I also wanted to talk about, I want to talk about a lot of things, truth be told. But one thing that's very much on my mind is the importance of spiritual practices. And the one thing that I keep coming up with is that it is important to maintain a frequency of spiritual practices. I know that a series of spiritual practices has come up for me where I began a new cycle of spiritual practices, and particularly affirmations, spiritual decrees, and prayers. Actually, as of last Monday, which was, I've got to start getting a calendar to do this. Monday, June 19th, 2017. And I will acknowledge that between last Monday and today, There were two occasions when either I felt very discouraged by a setback that took place, or I was simply exhausted. And I'm thinking back to something that the late and great Scott Cunningham had written in his books, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner, as well as Living Wicca, a further guide for the solitary practitioner. And in those books he wrote that ritual work and spellcraft need to take a major backseat when one's health and well-being is not at his or her best level. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I give myself grief when I'm not celebrating, even on a solitary level, a particular Sabbath, whether it's a cross-quarter holy day, a solstice, an equinox, a new moon, a dark moon, a bright moon, a full moon, because I want to go to sleep. Well-being is important. One's health and well-being is absolutely important. And if your health and well-being is good, very good. And if your health and well-being is not good, then do everything you can to improve it. And that means going to a doctor, going to a specialist, consulting with an energy healing practitioner, a nutritionist, an acupuncturist, a massage therapist. Do what you know works for you with regards to improving and increasing your health and well-being. Oh, and yes, I also want to acknowledge that today, at least right now, I am dressed super casually. I mean, one would think that I'm going to the beach. I'm wearing a tank top, I'm wearing shorts, and I'm wearing flip-flops. But I'm not going to a beach. Certainly not on a Sunday. No. Listen, I could use a few $1 million. Really, I could. You couldn't pay me a few $1 million to go to a beach on a Sunday. And there are certain Sundays where I won't do that. And I need to tell my audiovisual person something, because there are some things on the floor that are distracting me, and he needs to pick them up or move them to a different location ASAP. Because I'm just like, I keep looking at it, I'm like, well, I keep looking at it. So that's one thing about spiritual practices. It's like, if you're not engaging in spiritual practices, be brutally honest with yourself and say, why am I not doing this? What is causing this? You know, I have a wonderful client who's an ongoing student and one of my favorite people on the planet and a dear friend. And she shared with me not too long ago that she became very disenchanted and disillusioned by the angelic realms. And as somebody that's been actively working with the angels since January 2004, I kind of like took that, like I felt bad, you know? I felt bad, and I'm just like, you know, I didn't know what to say about that. I accepted what she said. I didn't try to fix her, didn't try to tell her that she felt wrong. What I did encourage her to do, and I did encourage it with a little bit more emotion that perhaps would have been appropriate from a professional psychic speaking to a client, was to do whatever she can to make her peace with the angelic realms and see if she can begin to forgive them and forgive herself for having those negative feelings about the angels. So far, she hasn't made any progress, which is fine. She is continuing to move in that direction, though. But, you know, as somebody that's very biased when it comes to the angels, it kind of upset me. You know, it did not kind of upset me. It did upset me. And it upset me because I love and adore the angels. I do. I love and adore them so much. So her feeling like she can't count on them, well, I took it to heart, you know. But on a lighter note, I definitely invite all of you to engage in spiritual practices, especially those that uplift you and uplift others. And I also wanted to talk about something else. So, you know, I've become more Instagram savvy. Hold on. I'm being divinely directed to take a sip of cafe. You know I love my coffee. And yes, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, something beautiful is on the horizon. Oh, this is percolator coffee. I don't have one of those automatic K-cup machines. Although every time I see a commercial for Nespresso, I'm like, ooh, Nespresso. You know? But you know, it's just one of those things. It's like, I would love one of those. No, those are not ghosts. There was an actual neighbor that actually entered his or her apartment. There's been a lot of ghost activity lately, let me tell you. I'm like, oh, they're just all over the place. And I have been reminded about how all over the place they are. But yeah, so that was an actual person. Somebody in physical form. See, I drink my coffee and I heard a loud noise and I get so distracted. Yes, I remember now. So, I have become more Instagram savvy. I've become more accustomed to the workings of Instagram. And recently, and one thing that I've noticed about Instagram is a lot of people write a lot of very mean and cruel comments with a sponsored ad. And there was somebody who thought I was going to avail myself of her business. And I said to her, you know, I have no doubt that your business is wonderful, but I deactivated my Facebook page for the second and, God is willing, the last time on Monday, November 21st, 2016. And although my life has not been perfect since then, my life has been, for the most part, happier. I have been physically healthier. I have been emotionally healthier. My time professionally and personally is more productive. I know for some people Facebook is very important. It's very convenient. It does work for them. And, you know, I thought about this earlier today, in fact. I remember I used to work in supermarkets. And I used to enjoy working in supermarkets. I enjoyed the compliments the customers would give me. I enjoyed receiving those customers. I loved how much they appreciated my hard work. And what began bothering me more and more was that I had spent time, energy, and money to learn computer skills. And I was not employed by a company where those computer skills were being used. And that began to bother me a whole lot more. And I'm like, you know what, this is ridiculous. I spent time, I spent energy, and I spent money to learn these computer skills. I need to use them. That's one of the reasons why sometimes I do not want to learn something new, metaphysical, magical, or mystical, if for no other reason because I have all of these wonderful metaphysical, magical, and mystical skills and abilities, and sometimes I don't use them, or at least I don't consciously think that I'm using them. So for me to learn something new, it's like, okay, I'm learning something new, that's beautiful, but you know, I have all these other skills, and I spent time, energy, and money to learn those skills. So why am I not using them? Why am I not taking a more active role in using them? You know, Reiki is a perfect example. There was a time when I was not giving any Reiki treatments or any energy healing treatments of any kind. And what I didn't realize at the time is that those energy healing modalities were using me. I had lost count of how many clients would say to me, you know, I always feel better after a reading with you. You're so healing. And it was like, you know, you could have hit me on the side of the head and I wouldn't have gotten until years later, like, oh. I had one of those Edith Bunker moments. Remember in All in the Family? She'd finally get something and they'd be like, oh. 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 Remember that? Yeah, I had one of those moments, like, I got it. So I love being a Reiki master. I love being an energy healing practitioner. I love my goddess energy healing treatments. Oh, they're the ones that I love the most. I will admit it. So aside from that, so she asked me in one of the direct messages she sent me on Instagram, you know, what's your business? And I said, well, I'm a professional psychic, but I also have a side position of employment. And she was like, a psychic? Oh, I don't believe in that stuff. That seems like witchcraft to me. Now, let me tell you something. I have met more professional psychics that are not witches, that are not pagans, and that are not magical practitioners than are. There are some who are. I'm one of them. But I was just like, I remember reading, and mind you, I was reading this a little after 6 this morning. And I'm just like, Robert, what do you really want to do? And I knew the answer. I want to block this bitch. Honestly, I'm like, because why am I gonna waste my time, my energy, and my money explaining to her, well, you know, it just so happens that I am a witch, but in my life I've met more professional psychics that are not witches, that are not pagans, that are not magical practitioners than those who are. Did I do that? No. Why? Because number one, it was after 6 o'clock in the goddamn motherfucking morning. Number one. Number two, I don't share a life with her. I don't share a home with her. I don't share a bed with her. She's not my mother. She's not my daughter. She's not my employer. She's not my employee. And number three, at 47 years of age, I think that if I don't know how to pick and choose my battles by now, then I'm some fucked up. I'm a special kind of fucked up. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not at all a special kind of fucked up. I'm just not. So I blocked her. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make it easy for everybody. I'm just going to say, you know what? Here's the deal. So there you go. So please maintain an ongoing practice of your spiritual practices, your magical practices, your mystical practices, number one. And number two, pick your battles. Sometimes I lapse on both. And I'll be the first one to admit that. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? No. Sometimes I'm not going to keep my mouth shut and I'm not going to keep my fingers off the keyboard. Somebody who does any kind of body shaming or sex shaming, I'm going to talk to you. Bitch to bitch. I'm going to be like, oh, okay. So you want to do that? Okay. Oh, you have a problem with this body type, this body style. Oh, okay. So you think you can do whatever the hell you want. No, 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 no. You know? Again, I apologize for the segue, but that's important. Now, to the more important things. First of all, let me find out how much time I have left. So this video might be a little more than 20 minutes. So my wonderful audiovisual person, my amazing audiovisual person and I have come up with a way where we can make this happen seamlessly. And I'm so happy about that. You're ready, right? Okay, you're going to let me know with clear and evident signs. He's nodding his head yes. You're sure? I don't know, are you sure? He's nodding his head yes. I want to make sure. Okay, so here's the other thing. So I want to show you something that one of my favorite people on the planet gave me. I love this. I absolutely love this. And it just so happens that I'm going to use this for the very first time at the Black Mirror Salon at Catland, taking place in exactly 7 days on Sunday, July 2nd, 2017, 1 to 7 p.m. Now, what I love about this is that the background is orange. One of my favorite books, The Goddess's Guide to Love by Marjula Pandra, has one of my favorite sections, which is called The Cosmic Color Vibrations. And in that section, she lists the most appropriate colors to wear or use based on the planetary energies of the days of the week. So Sunday, not surprisingly, is the day of the sun. I'm going to make sure that I wear something orange or white or gold or golden yellow, and I will definitely have this. It's amazing how I never used this before. But you know, it's time. It's time. And yes, it is official. This time, the Black Mirror Salon at Catland is indeed taking place on Sunday, July 2nd, 2017, from 1 to 7 p.m. I am very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I know that I am using several oracle card decks. I know that I'm using, I'm giving palm readings. I'm going to be using runes, and specifically I'm going to be using runes that are made out of amethyst, tumbled amethyst pieces, which I purchased at Catland. I'm very excited about this. And I might use the Gypsy Witch cards because I haven't used them in forever. And I will be using the Woman Runes, which were co-created by Molly Remmer and her husband Mark Remmer, and inspired by the works of the late and great Shekinah Mountain Warder. So I'm very excited about this. I have not set aside all the decks yet. I actually should be doing that today, since today is 2 days after the new moon. I normally would do this either the night of the new moon or the night after, but again, the last few days have been super busy for me. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I missed. Oh, very important. So, I am on the verge of having 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I'm very excited about this. I'm extremely excited about this. Now, I've noticed that in the past, whether it was either one of my WordPress blogs or any one of any of the other social media platforms that I use, I would always want to do something after I reached a certain milestone or a certain anniversary. It never goes well. I don't know why. I set aside the idea that I have. I think it's a great idea at the time, and I get nothing. So, meaning like I get no responses, I get no okay. You sure? Okay. YouTube, I apologize. There was a clear and evident sign and signal that my amazing, awesome audio tech visual person was giving me that was not clear and evident to me. And that's why I had this look on my face like, what are you talking about? So that's why and I actually got a little bit of a headache trying to decipher that. I'm like, ah. So anyway, yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, so there in the back of my mind, I have this thought of doing something really special for having 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. And I'm not one of those people that believes that just because something always happened in the past, it doesn't mean that it's always going to happen. I don't have that thought. But I will say that as much as I would like to do something special to honor having 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might. But I will say this. If you have an idea of something for me to do as a way of celebrating having 100 YouTube channel subscribers, I am more than happy to listen to the idea, and if the idea is a good one and I can make it happen with ease and effortlessness, I will happily do it. But yes, so yes, I will definitely say that's that. So if you have an idea, please submit it in the comments, let me know what you think, and we can take it from there. And how many minutes do I have now? Got it. Thank you. So I'm going to wrap this up. Believe it or not, I'm going to wrap this up. So if you have not already subscribed, by all means subscribe. If you have not yet scheduled a reading with me, I highly recommend doing so. At the present time, I have one private appointment in July of 2017, and that's not including the Black Mirror Salon at Catland. So I now have 3 appointments in July of 2017, which is next month. I have 1 private appointment scheduled thus far. I would say scheduling anything for July and August, whether it's in Catland or outside of Catland, is very good right now. You wait a little too long, because I have a client that waited too long, and the dates that she wanted she didn't get. And I'm like, well, 3 weeks ago I gave you all these great dates, so, Anyway. And I do have some videos coming up. I'm actually looking forward to, I think it's going to be part 5 of the four magical theme cozy mystery series of videos and blog posts. So let's see what happens there. But for now, I want to thank you very much for honoring who I am and what I do. I want to thank you for honoring all of us at Catland and all we do too. I want to thank you for those of you who have been spreading the word about Catland's Black Mirror Salon. And I wish all of you a beautiful day and a wonderful week, overflowing with blessings, gifts, and miracles.